Hello, Aries. Elsie here to do a bonus read for you, friends. How are you? Birthday babies. Look, I just want to get one more bonus read in while we're still in your season here, Aries, and say happy birthday to you because your readings aren't coming up for a couple of days yet for your weekly reads. So, Aries, how are you? I hope you're well. Thanks for showing up here. You know what I think I'm going to do? Something that I kind of rather like doing is just throwing cards and seeing whatever comes from the cards. Let's just get some hits and see what's showing up here. And this may or may not be for you, but please understand it could resonate for you today and maybe not for today, tomorrow, or next year. So we're not all at the same precipice at the same time. We're not all in the same vibration, right? So it can't resonate with all of you. It's a general read. I'm going to read for the current or the future energy. I'm not going to look at anything back there. If anything shows up from the past, I will acknowledge it, but that's all. Tell me about Aries. What does Aries need to know? Some heavy energy. What are you carrying here, friend? What's going down? All right. So we have the Ten of Wands. We have the Nine of Swords and the Ace of Swords. Look, I feel like there's something here that's weighing heavy on you, and it's time to put it down. And I think that the only way that you can put it down, Aries, is if you finally say something. It's time for you to blurt it out, for you to say, look, there's 10 swords here. We've got 9 swords and 1 is 10. There's 10 swords here, and it feels like there is something here that you really need to say. We do have the Sun at the bottom of the deck. For me, this is the future energy, so this could, if this is your reading, this could happen anytime between now and whenever, right? So the Sun is here, indicating Leo energy, but also indicating that there's going to be some sort of a breakthrough. To me, this is an awakening. This is me finally saying the things that I've got to say, that I'm not going to mince words. I don't think you're going to be rude or ornery. I don't think it's going to be terrible, but I think you are about to release some sort of really big burden that you've been carrying for a while here, Aries. You're about to unburden yourself. You're about to release something, even though it's going to be painful to say it. I feel like there's no way you can't because the Sun is here, and the Sun is major arcana. When the major arcana show up, Aries, you don't really have much of a choice except to react or respond. You must do one of those two things. Tell me what it is that you've been carrying around here. Tell me about Aries. What has Aries been carrying around here? We have the Page of Wands in the reverse. We have the Queen of Swords. And we have the Eight of Swords. So it looks like there is something here that you have been stuck in the mind about. You've sort of imprisoned yourself in the mind. It's like you've convinced yourself that you're not allowed to speak it out loud, that you're not allowed to say it. And so I feel that you stay quiet with the Page of Wands in the reverse. I feel like there is something here. It's like a spark or an excitement. It feels like maybe you have a little bit of fire for somebody, possibly, if it's a relationship reading for you. And it feels like you want to say it, but it feels like the Eight of Swords is stopping you. It's like your mind is blocking your mouth. This is what I think is going on here. So I feel like you must release it. I don't think it's an if. I think it's a when, to be honest. The Queen of Swords is here. And look, the Queen of Swords is just going to be honest and truthful. And the Queen of Swords isn't somebody who's there to start a fight. That's not who she is. But she's kind of intimidating. And it feels, whether you're the feminine or the masculine, I say she because there's a woman on the card. But please don't get confused. We all of us, humans, animals, and plants, all have feminine and masculine energy. The way you lean is up to you. Are you mostly masculine or mostly feminine? So the Queen of Swords, either way, regardless of whether you're in the masculine or feminine realm, is somebody who is going to speak aloud. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to be honest with you. And I know this might be uncomfortable for a moment, but I'm going to say what I have to say. It feels like you've got something. Now this spark here, this Page of Wands that's in the reverse and is not moving anywhere, not going and not saying and not taking action. It could be that maybe you're a singer and you've never sung for anybody before. Maybe you are somebody who's keeping some sort of an artistic thing that's under the surface. Maybe you have a business idea and you want to tell people, but you think they're going to say, what the hell? Aries, no, don't do that. You think that people are going to poo-poo your idea. So I don't think that you want to say it. So it doesn't necessarily have to be about a type of feeling that you have. I don't see any cups here, by the way, right? So it doesn't have to be that it's about feelings that you have. Although this is the tiniest spark, right? That you're not taking action on here. Tell me what you're trying to release here. Tell me about this. You're worried about speaking something. You're worried about speaking the truth about something here. You're trying to make a decision. The Queen holds a sword, and then we have an Ace of Swords. We also have 10 swords here. You're trying to figure out what to do about this. So we do have the Two of Wands, which tells me that you're at the crossroads of your life. It's like it's time to go for broke. It's like, I don't really care if it works out. Maybe it won't, maybe it will, but I need to know the answer regardless. So it feels like you're at the crossroads of your life, and you're ready to take a step. You're ready to take action somewhere. But the Two of Swords appears, right? And the Two of Swords is telling you to feel it out. Don't necessarily believe what you see, but it also is, I could do this or I could do that. It's like making a decision. It's in the mind though. And I feel like after this conversation, you are going to propel forward regardless of what your answer is. So if the person says, no, I'm not interested in you that way, you're going to propel forward. And you're going to go into the future of your life knowing that you released whatever the Ace of Swords is. And it feels like it's something that you do need to release. Regardless of whether this works out the way you want it to or not, you get your answer either way. Tell me about the Ace of Swords, please. We've got the Two of Cups, we've got the Nine of Wands, and we've got the Ace of Cups. So for some of you, it is about some sort of feeling that you have about someone. Whew, this is trying to take a breath or trying to exhale, only because the Nine of Wands is telling me that yes, I'm resilient. Yes, you are resilient, Aries. You've fallen before, but I feel like this is just going to, like in your mind, it's just going to be another rejection. It feels like for you, it's just going to be another rejection. I might as well get it over with. I want to tell this person that I can't stop thinking about holding them. I cannot stop thinking about hugging them. I feel like you just want things to move forward regardless of what the answer is. But I do believe for some of you here, it does feel like it is something that is at the heart space here. And, you know, we've got the lotus flower here that's kind of opening, and the Ace of Cups is in the center of the lotus flower. So it feels like you've been in the dark, or maybe walking through the mud, or taking your time, or really you've been slowed down by all these wands you've been carrying here. But we do have the Ten of Wands. Look, it feels like you are going to be dropping your burdens regardless of what the answer is. You're going to be dropping your burdens. Maybe you're applying for a job and you're really putting your reputation on the line for doing that. All right, tell me about the Eight of Wands, please. What happens if we decide to move forward? So what happens if you feel it out and you decide to just say it? Because the Ace of Swords and the Eight of Wands are telling me I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it. What happens if you just say it? We do have the Four of Cups in the reverse. We have the Empress, and we have the Three of Pentacles. We have the King of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. So herein lies the issue right here. I feel like this person is somebody that you would call a friend. So it feels like there is somebody that you're quite attracted to. You're attracted to their energy, Aries. You're attracted to who they are, what they stand for, somebody who really doesn't need you. Somebody who really isn't in need of anything. They take care of all of their needs by themselves. It's not that they don't want something, but understand that when you become the Empress, you no longer need anything from people. And so then it puts the Empress in a really beautiful spot to be able to want something. So I feel like the Three of Pentacles tells me that maybe the Empress is somebody that you know in your social group, or somebody who's in a network, or maybe you work with this person. This is somebody you've already built a foundation with, so I think that you're already acquaintances or friends. Could be a friend of a friend. But it feels like if you think that if you go ahead and just say it, if you're vulnerable with this person, that the Empress is going to look at this and say, well, if we decide to cross that line, what if it doesn't work out? Then I lose a friend and I lose a lover. So I feel like it's a really big decision that you're making here. And I feel like this is the influence here. The King of Pentacles is the influence. So you could have a Taurus, Virgo, or a Capricorn placement. You don't have to. But the overall energy with the King is somebody who really wants to provide, who wants to settle down, who wants to move things slowly and in a dependable sort of, wants to be depended on, wants to be dependable. Somebody who is looking at their material wealth and wondering, do they have enough to support the Empress? Now, the Empress doesn't really need the money or the wealth or the material wealth of the King of Pentacles, but this person is in their feminine energy, and this person is in their masculine leaning energy. So this person possibly might follow that person. This World card is telling me that somebody wants to close an old chapter and open a new one. So I want to end the friendship and open a love ship, is what it looks like here. How are you going to drop these wands? And are you going to drop this burden that you've been worrying about and carrying around? Tell me about the 10 wands. Because I think the 10 wands have been created in your thoughts, in your mind. There are things you're worried about. That's why you're not taking action here. We've got the 7 of wands. We've got the 6 of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles has come back out again. So I think that your biggest worry, or you're feeling most defensive about, is that you're not sure if you're going to get reciprocal energy from this person. It feels like you're the person who probably is the overgiver, Aries. Maybe you're the person who is, likes to spend lavishly or spend a lot of money on your partner, or it feels like maybe your love language might be gift giving. It could be that. And it feels like you're wondering, is this the place where I want to put all my hard work? 6 Pentacles and 1 in the hand of the King is 7. This person comes with a lot of stability, right? So the King is wondering, do I want to give my stability to somebody? What if they don't reciprocate my energy? What if they just come at me with the 7 wands and say, look, I've got boundaries here. I can't do this with you. We're friends. Like, I feel like you have this 10 of wands that's weighing on you, is maybe they won't say yes. Because I feel like you really want to end the friendship and begin some sort of a relationship. How are you going to feel it out here? We're looking at the 2 of swords. How are you going to feel it out here? Because I feel like you're going to feel it out before you take any sort of action here. Yeah, you're worried. Ooh, you're worried. Any way we look at it, now we got 6 and 4, which is 9. Here we got 1 and 8, which is 9. Here we got 9, right? You've got a lot to think about. You're really worried that your heart's going to get broken. 2 and 1 sword is 3. You're really worried you're going to get your heart broken. And the 5 of Pentacles, look at that poor guy, right? So whether you're the feminine or the masculine, somebody's like, I don't know, this is where I'm going to end up. Like, if you tell this person about your feelings, there's a chance you could break the friendship, right? Maybe they're going to feel weird around you now because they know that you have a fancy for them. So I feel like you're going to take this 4 of swords energy and get really good stability of the mind before you decide to move forward here, because there is movement here. And I think that you're going to move forward and you're going to say something regardless of whether you're ready to or not. But I feel like this... the 5 of Pentacles and the 6 of Swords is saying, like, even if I don't feel like I can, I think that I will anyway. I'm going to try and get movement out of this, even though I'm not feeling completely settled with the whole situation. It's coming up in the future here. What does this Empress, how does this Empress feel about you, Aries? The Empress is feminine and masculine, Taurus and Libra energy. This person could also be someone who is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. We have a lot of wands, so Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo. That could be your energy. Tell me about the Empress. What do we need to know about the Empress? Or what do you need to know about the Empress and this friendship? I think you're just going to be honest with somebody here, because the 4 of Cups is in the reverse, which means I'm gonna just like blah. I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna give you all of my feelings. I'm gonna be vulnerable with the Empress and talk to this person about the 3 of Pentacles. I know that we make a really good team. We're a really good partnership. We collaborate. We cooperate. We've got the 9 of Cups. We've got the 7 of Cups, and we've got the King of Wands. So I think you're just going to go for it. It feels like you are going to just do it. The King of Wands wouldn't do anything less than that. Look, the King of Wands is your energy. The King of Wands is not leaving anything on the table. The King of Wands is like, look, I'm just going to go for broke. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's fine. But I'm going to take a chance here. We do have the 9 of Cups. I feel like the Empress might be open. I'm going to say might be open to whatever it is that you've got planned here. It feels like with the 7 of Cups, the way it's broken up here, we can see this depiction. The 5 of Cups over the head could end up in regret, could end up in sadness. but is it worth taking the chance for the Two of Cups? I feel like the Empress is going to look at it this way. This person makes me really happy. I'm very open to their energy. I feel like this Empress is saying, you know what, I could choose these 2 cups. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but maybe it's time for me to give it a try. So I feel like you might be able to convince this person. What's the outcome between you and them? Wow, there you go. So the door opens. The door will swing open. Look, I think that if you, and it's not for everybody. Listen, I'm not telling you to go take a chance that you think is not going to work for you. Please use your discernment. The Queen of Swords is here. She's the one with the discernment. She's detached from the outcome. She doesn't care whether it works or whether it doesn't. It would be nice if it does, but if it doesn't, it's not going to break the bank. It's not going to make me feel terrible about myself. If you're the person who feels that you cannot take another heartbreak, then maybe this reading is not for you. But it does look like that the new door does open. Tell me what happens in this new chapter here. We have the 2 of Pentacles, we have the 8 of Cups, and we have the 5 of Wands. 6 of Wands on the bottom of the deck with Justice. There is going to be restoration here. It feels like there is going to be balance. It feels like karma is going to be restored. We do have the 2 of Pentacles, which tells me the decision is, I don't want to settle for this. So what are we going to do about that? It feels like somebody here doesn't want to settle. It feels like somebody here is in indecision. So the Empress, I feel, is the one who's in indecision and knows they don't want to settle, but they also know that they've got to give you a decision. What is the decision of the Empress? 7 of Swords, Knight of Swords, and the Star. I think that they want to talk about it. I think that they want to put everything on the table. And that's really what the Empress would do, because she's the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords is like, let's look at this factually and logically. Is this going to work, and how does it work? And if it does work, what does it look like to you? So the Knight is the one who's just going to say it. I'm just going to say it. I'm not going to hold it back. I feel like the Empress has been holding it back because because the Empress is never going to chase the masculine, right? The Empress is always going to have whatever she's manifesting come to her. And I think this 9 of Cups with the Empress is telling me that you are showing up to the Empress for a reason. And that the Star is here. I feel like the Empress wants to have a really healing, but very brutally honest conversation about what's going on here, because she doesn't really trust the situation. And we have the Judgment card. She knows that whatever the answer is, whether I say yes or whether I say no, everything is forever changed. And that's what the Judgment card is. Everything will be forever changed, whatever the decision is. We both will go on a different trajectory in our life, whether we do that together or apart. So are we going to do it? Yes, I think you will. I think that this sun is shining on the Knight of Wands, which tells me excitement. Let's get to it. Let's get at it. I think there's a lot of attraction here between the two. And we do have the Judgment card, which tells me someone is going to make a decision to go for it. So I don't know who you are. Maybe this is for you and maybe it's not. But if it is, please tell me in the comments. I'd really love to know. I'm going to go for now. Thank you so much for being here and watching. I do appreciate you. And I'll be back because I'm always back. I hope you'll be back too, Aries. Happy birthday. Bye-bye.